Hey, babe, welcome to the world of being a turned on woman because you know that your energy is everything and you know that you are creating your reality. This video is all about the man is already yours. We're going to look at why that is and what the energetic shifts are so that you can actually realize, manifest, perceive, however you want to say it, even receive the man in your life because this is an internal game. It's an energetic game. It's an emotional game. All of that is saying the exact same thing. So buckle in because this is for you to turn on your feminine energy. I'm Lauren. I coach women on turning on their feminine energy so that you can close the gap between you and the man that you desire. Really, though, this is about you meeting you. This is about closing the gap between you and who you were authentically born to be, a magnetic, loving, beautiful, bright woman that the world has told you is too much, is too emotional, is inconvenient. And that's where your feminine energy lies, is when we reclaim it and we turn it on. And it's not that our masculine energy is bad, but at this point, we're using too much of it because of the masculine society that we grow up in. So I want you to take away the layers of the masculine energy that is protecting your feminine energy, therefore keeping you safe. But honey, you are safe. And actually, it is most safe for you to be yourself. You are going to get all that you want when you allow yourself to turn on this feminine energy of your aliveness, of your expression, of who you really are, being unapologetically yourself. That is what attracts a man to you. But even deeper than that, underneath that, when you actually can feel yourself, he feels you. And at the end of the day, he's just a reflection of you. So this is you coming home to yourself, remembering who you are, remembering who you were always meant to be before society told you who you should be. So this is a deep remembrance. It's not your fault that your feminine has been suppressed. It is your responsibility. It is your path to remembrance to turn on this version of you, whatever that expression looks like, because everyone has their own unique expression. So you get to own what your feminine looks like for you, because feminine is not a way that you look, it is a way that you feel. And guess how you manifest all the things that you desire in your life? Through feeling, because feeling is emotion, and emotion is energy in motion. So you are just allowing yourself to be a match to the reality, to the experience, to the man that you desire. All right, let's get into it. So, first of things first, maybe you've heard before that the man is already yours. And why is that true? Well, here's the thing is like you have a desire to be with a man. You're at any age, at any point in your life, you have this desire to be with a man. Now, here's the thing. I had a desire to be with a man throughout my 20s, but I was desiring to be with a man because it was going to make me safe. I had this desire because I was like, well, I need to live up to the standard of getting married by 30 and having kids, having a solid career and like we're going to buy a house and all of these things that I was trying so hard to make that a reality that I was actually abandoning myself in that process. I was losing myself because I was just trying to do the things in order to be loved and accepted by any man. And I stayed in relationships that were unaligned for too long because I wasn't truly being myself getting into the relationship. And then that's when the relationship started to feel heavy and resentful and like I just wasn't growing and evolving and being the woman who I knew I was meant to be. When you have that feeling of like, I know I'm meant for more, like there's got to be more here, or like, why does everything that I want feel so hard or resistant to this man? It's because it's misaligned. And so once I started to realize that, then I gave up. I gave up that outcome, let go of the outcome of needing a man by a certain age because you think you're going to be on track or it's going to mean something about you. Let go of that because that desire is not backed by your worthiness. That desire is backed by, oh, I need this thing because then that will make me worthy. No, other way around. We need to flip that. So, purely because you have the desire and you are always worthy and deserving of your desires because you are inherently worthy of all that you desire, all of your desires are already yours because you would not have the desire if it were not yours to receive, yours to manifest, yours to actualize, yours to perceive in this lifetime. And so the only thing that is holding you from your desire is the patterns and the resistance or the blocks that live within you. These come up as subconscious beliefs, emotional reactions or triggers, stories that you are telling yourself of why you can't receive a certain type of love. And all of these also live within the patterns that you have around feeling safe in the world, of your own self-concept of as well, as far as who you are and what you are worthy and deserving of receiving. And then many of these patterns too mirror our parents' patterns or any patterns that we were shown growing up, as far as, again, how to be safe, how to do things the right way versus the wrong way, or a pattern that perhaps your mother is living out, or a pattern of how you were shown or how you learned to receive love. So all of these patterns will show up in the type of men that you are attracting, because each man that you attract is going to be able to, he's going to deliver you a lesson always. And maybe you're like, oh, shoot, this is like hitting a little too close to home because maybe you've had some toxic relationships before. But really, it's not that that man is inherently toxic. He was there to show you that you're settling for less than you deserve, which is a toxic relationship for you to yourself. So at the end of the day, you receiving the man that you desire, who loves you for who you are, who cherishes the ground that you walk on, is actually a reflection of the relationship that you have to yourself. Because there's not actually anything out here in this 3D world. We only perceive what we like through the subconscious thoughts and beliefs that we are holding. We are perceiving our reality based on who we are being, based on who we have programmed ourselves to be. So the man is already yours. And if you've ever listened to anything about quantum theory, you know that the man is a quantum possibility. He's always a possibility because all possibilities exist. So he's always a possibility. The man is already yours. He's out there. He may not look the way you think he looks, but this is why it is so important for you to feel your way to the man. Because at the end of the day, you want things in your life, like a man, like a relationship, because you believe you will feel better in having it. We don't desire negative experiences. When was the last time you desired a negative experience? Like, never. No one willingly wants negative experiences. We might worry about them, but nobody wants that. So you're always desiring something because it's like, oh yeah, I would like to have that. Like I would like to have an ice cream on a hot day. I'm desiring that because that's going to feel good. I would love to have a man who wants to take me out on dates and like, treat me well because that feels really good. And it just makes me feel like, like safe and secure. And those are the emotions that you need to recognize of how do I think this man is going to make me feel? And then how can I feel that right now, even in his absence? Because if you are waiting to feel a certain way until you get your manifestation, until you get the man, you're going to be waiting a long time. Because the whole point of this game of life is to feel the very things that we want now, for us to feel our wholeness now, for you to know that you are already whole, worthy, and deserving right now. And so again, you don't have to look for the man. And if you are looking, you're trying too hard and you're looking outside of yourself. You need to be looking within, which is to say you need to be feeling your way to a man, which is a very feminine quality because women need to be able to feel and embody in your body, feel in your body, be connected to your body, your emotions, because your emotions are the very thing that are going to take you, guide you intuitively to the man. It's when you feel your wholeness now. But so many women, probably yourself included, if you're watching this video, are wanting a man to make her feel happy. And therefore, she's waiting to feel happy until the man comes into her life. And that's when we get attached, is because, oh, he's giving me this experience that I'm not actually giving myself. When you absolutely can give yourself the experience of happiness, love, joy, adventure, playfulness, security. You can give yourself all of that right now. So the man is already yours because he is absolutely a possibility that exists for you. And you would not have the desire for the man if he wasn't meant to be yours, because you don't have desires that aren't already met for you. You wouldn't have the desire otherwise. The desire is evidence. It's like a manifested evidence in your mind that it's already yours. So now your journey that you go on is to close the gap between where you are now and the man that you desire to receive. And what is that gap? What is that work there? It's an energetic gap or an emotional gap. And it is like, this can also then be called like self-identity, self-concept. This is focus. And how you are going to do that is based on who you are being. How are you feeling in your body? What are the emotions or because the emotions come from thoughts and beliefs that we have. So are you doubting that the man is yours? Are you telling yourself you live in a place where there's no good men? Are you trying to date through the dating apps even though you don't really want to? All of those things are going to be energetically out of alignment with your actual desire. Therefore, it's going to be harder for you to actually receive the man because, hello, you're not in alignment. Because the frequency of the man is the love, is the joy, is all the things that you desire to experience once you have the man. You have to be feeling more of those right now, right here, right now. And so closing this gap is the mirror, the reflection of your relationship to yourself. I was just talking to a friend last night, and she was talking about like she's setting goals for finance and abundance and for her health. And then she was like, well, how do I set goals for dating? And I was like, well, here's the thing. There's nothing that you need to do. Actually, the things that you need to do is build relationship to yourself. Treat yourself like you are dating yourself, because that is going to give you the love and the security which gets reflected back in a man. I always tell women, you don't need to be on a dating app. Like, you don't have to limit yourself to just a dating app. Actually go to the places where you feel good, where you enjoy being. Maybe that's a dance class. Maybe that's a full moon ceremony. A lot of women get tripped up of like, well, I'm only doing feminine things where women are. And I'm like, no, honey, like you're always out in public at some point in your life, whether that's getting gas, whether that's getting your groceries, whatever that looks like, you are always you have the opportunity to run into someone. But if you don't trust that your life is taking you to those opportunities, well, then you're going to miss those opportunities because you're not open to them, because you're not trusting. So when I was talking to my friend and she was like, what are the goals that I need? I'm like, you don't need to make goals on how to meet men or how many dates to go on and all of that. You actually just need to love yourself more, which is a very broad like thing to say, but it's like, what would you do if you did love yourself? Would you take yourself out to a nice restaurant? Would you go buy yourself a book and like romanticize the bookstore and have like a coffee or a tea while you're there? Like, would you take yourself out to get a pedicure? Because you never know who you're going to meet along the way. Like maybe you get a flat tire and a man has to come along, but a lot of women would get tripped up and like, oh, why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 rather than like, okay, this flat tire kind of sucks, but like, I'm going to choose to see that this is happening for me. And then you never know who's going to stop to help or who you're going to call and, to get it fixed. And it just could happen anytime, anywhere. This is how it's like divine timing, but really it's just energetic alignment. And so the way I help women do this is through reframing your thoughts and beliefs and your subconscious programming. So many subconscious beliefs need to be rewritten. And so on a day-to-day basis, when I'm working with my clients and we're doing back and forth messaging, this is where I call it like reality flipping, or it's just a reframe. Never underestimate the power of a reframe because you have to be catching your thoughts and your beliefs on the spot when they happen. And when my clients come into messaging with me and they say, "Oh, I keep thinking this way, or I keep feeling this way," and it's like, okay, well, what is underneath that emotion? We're going to get to that belief and that thought that's creating that emotion, that negative experience. Oh, I keep feeling sad about this. I keep thinking about my ex, blah, blah, blah. Well, why? Let's look at why and what are you going to do about it? And it's less about the why, more about what are we going to do instead. But we need to find what's creating that emotion first so that we can flip it, and then that closes the gap, the energetic gap, because it's like, oh, I can come back to my wholeness. I don't need to feel sad, which is actually a survival, a lower vibrational survival emotion, which is not bad. It's actually pointing you to your inner truth that needs to be alchemized, which brings me to my second point of how I help women is by alchemizing emotions. Because when we're stuck in survival emotions of anger or sadness and a doubt and worry, all of these are of the first three chakras, and they're the survival emotions, and we can't be magnetic if we are in survival. So therefore, you need to rewrite your beliefs so that you can then generate an emotion that is a higher frequency, which would be love, joy, adventure, curiosity, pleasure, play. All of that creates an energetic match to the man that you desire. So instead of worrying about, oh my gosh, I'm getting older, no man is going to love me at 40 or whatever age it is, and instead telling yourself, I could meet a man anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter what my age is. The man that is meant for me is going to love me, and we are going to build the most incredible life. And you might not believe that right away, but you need to start believing in your own positive affirmations and beliefs. And you can do this through repetition, but also I help my clients do EFT tapping, which also helps alchemize energy. We're taking lower vibrational emotions and beliefs and bringing them up into the higher vibrational, higher frequency love, play, joy, adventure, all of those things that you want to experience with a man. So you have to close the gap. And the man at the end of the day then is just a mirror of who you are being. It's not what do you do to meet the man? It is how do you need to feel in order to meet the man, receive the man. And the final thing I will say here is when I met my man last year, and I said at the beginning of the year, even though I was going through a breakup, I was like, I'm going to meet my man this year. And I knew I had work to do. I had to do alchemizational work of my emotions because I was actually processing a breakup. So I was going through grief and I was processing this emotion. And I was like, okay, this is happening for me. What's underneath here? What's the pattern? It turned out to be a pattern with my mom and with safety and security and belonging and really knowing myself as a woman and knowing my worth. And all of that was coming up for me, that by the time I met my man in June of last year, so we're almost on a year here together, that by the time I met my man, I had let go of how it needed to look because I thought that I was meant to be. I live in Mexico, by the way, and this is my Mexican apartment that I'm in right now. This is actually a room in a large house that we live in, and over behind here is a beautiful view of the ocean. And I was like, I thought that I was meant for a Mexican man because my mind told me that. Because then my mind told me, well, I'm meant to be bilingual, which I already am on my own. I don't need a man for that. Um, I'm meant to, I don't know, just like live this like crazy foreign life, I guess, that I like thought what I thought was like something that I like romanticized. But my mind was creating that. And I actually dated a Mexican man and it didn't work out. And I decided to just fully let go of that. And I was like, I always say it's more important how you feel than how it looks. I was like, I am fully giving up how it looks. Even though I had been telling myself, I'm not attracted to white guys anymore. Like, and I just, again, this is another ego thing. And I was like, I am choosing as a woman, fully in my feminine energy, to trust my body and to trust what feels good for me. And the crazy thing is that when I met my boyfriend, and actually we have two episodes on my podcast, I'll link them below. You should listen to the conversation about how we met and like what my process, like my process was when I met him, and our early dating process. And when I met him and we had a conversation, and I was like, wow, that felt so good. But I wasn't even thinking of him as a partner. It was just because I actually had a previous judgment of him before I met him. And by the time I talked to him, I was like, oh, wow, that was actually so grounding and calming and felt good. And then as I started to get to know him, and when they say that like love is calm and love is not this crazy butterfly thing, because the butterflies and all of that is actually anxiety, it's your nervous system acting up, that for the first time, it was so easy because I had practiced being in my body, being in touch with what I want, knowing my worth, having my standards and boundaries, and not overextending myself to this man. I actually built my own beautiful life for myself. And I was like, yes, I'm still open and leaving room for magic to be created with a man, and we're going to co create together. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lose myself. And once I got to that point, not only was I not attached and just ready for growth with a man, ready to grow in relation to the man, because I know he's just a reflection of me, that actually it felt so calm that I was like, yeah, I love him, but like it's actually like really this is the first time I have felt so calm in something that I was calling love. And I was like, whoa, this is like when they say love is calm, like that's true. It doesn't actually feel like this nervous anxiety, like, oh my gosh, like butterfly. That's all our nervous system acting up, saying, like, whoa, 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 like this is, there's something that's being activated here that your body is talking to you, but we've been told that it's butterflies and it's sparks flying. And my love, what I believe love really truly shows up as, is it's consistent, it's calm, it's even keeled, and it's respectful. And that doesn't mean that it's not hot and spicy. Like, sure, there's just not these like anxious sparks. It is, you create the spice, you create the intrigue. And this is really important for women through their own expression, is that she creates and inspires to the masculine as well, inspires him, but she creates through her own expression of her full range of being a woman. And then I will say the final piece, then, too, just to wrap this up, is that not only do you need subconscious reprogramming of your own beliefs and emotional alchemy so that you can create your own reality with your energy. And then the last piece is being connected to your body as a woman. We get so disconnected from our body that that's what disempowers us, is that we're taught to not be emotional. Don't ever touch your body. I take women through breast massage practices to build safety and connection, because we have a feminine nervous system that runs off of oxytocin, not dopamine. Men, their neurotransmitter, neuroregulator for their nervous system is dopamine. Ours is oxytocin. So women actually do need to slow down and feel the pleasure and romanticize the littlest things in life in order to truly feel this grounded sense of safety and connection and love and joy. And so, one way I do that is through connecting to the body, not only through movement, but through breast massage as well. And so, the man is already yours, but there is an energetic gap. There's an energetic gap there. And the way I help women close the gap through subconscious mind, emotional alchemy, connection to your body. Because when you are fully embodying your own authentic expression of who you are and feeling at home in your body, that is when you are your most magnetic as a woman. And when you are actually, most of the subconscious reprogramming is coming from not thinking in worst case scenario, but thinking in best case scenario, which I love to call Delulu, because Delulu is the Solulu. We need to be believing and thinking in what is actually possible for us, not allowing the brain to take over because it's wired for survival to limit us. Limits are learned, but you are a limitless being. Your soul, your essence is limitless. But when we come here, As humans, we learn limitations, we learn the rules and all of that. No, it's time to rewrite the rules and play the game as a limitless being. Anything is possible for you. And so you get to Delulu your way into receiving the man that you desire while giving yourself love and connection to your body and being fully expressed because life is meant to feel good and it is your job to feel good. Because again, the limitations that are placed on us as women, placed on you throughout your whole life, they're not your fault, but it is your responsibility to rewrite the story and to actually empower yourself, turn yourself on to the fullest version of yourself. Because being a turned on woman means you are fully alive, that you are living, and that you are in the higher frequencies of love and joy and possibility and play more often because it is your birthright to feel pleasure, to receive what it is that you want in this life. Okay, my love. That is what I have for you on The Man Is Already Yours. Comment below any questions that you have. I am so excited that you're here. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can start to close the energetic gap between you and your man because your man is just a few energetic shifts away. He's not 10 dates away. He is just a few energetic shifts away. That could be, it's going to be a combination actually of your owning your emotions so that they don't own you, rewriting the rules that you have for yourself in your thoughts and your beliefs, and connecting to your body so that your nervous system is regulated and ready to receive. All right, my love, I'll see you in the next video.